Great.
Hello, Mr. Grove. I teach social studies here at the high school, and I'm the head football coach.
Okay, so in the future, what type of energy do you believe will be used?
I think that there's going to be a variety of different avenues we're going to have to take. I still think we're always going to have a dependency on oil and other natural fuels, but I do think that we're going to be looking into alternate, methods for both heating homes, fueling cars. Like you see a lot now, because of the gas prices, we see a lot of change now with like hybrid automobiles. I also think that solar power, as well as I think wind and water are going to probably start to be researched a little bit more, try to use those when we have in abundance.
What type of money will be used in the future?
I think we're still always going to have the almighty dollar bill. My concern is the value of the dollar bill. You say in the future, I don't think we're going to lose coin and bills, but I also see that even in my lifetime, the huge change between use of cash and using of credit cards. I know a lot of like my friends and people in my age bracket now that don't ever carry cash. They just use credit cards all the time.
Okay. What type of technology advances will there be?
I think there's going to be everything. I think we're starting to get to that point now where some of our devices have been, like I have an iPhone now, and that's a cell phone, it's a computer, it's a GPS, it's a music playing device. It does all those things. I just think that eventually we're going to take all the gadgets that we enjoy and kind of condense them down into one machine.
How will education change?
I hope it doesn't change in terms of its goals or purpose. I think that we'll see change in the methods with which we do things. What I mean is we're always going to want our students to be as educated as possible to living in a global community. We want them to still know the fundamentals of reading and writing and math, but the methods that we use to get them there, I think those will change in time.
What type of companies will still be around, like Apple, Mac?
I think any computer-based company will always flourish as long as I'm alive and even into the next generation. I think some of the companies that have lost their usefulness in terms of the product or service they provide our society might go by the wayside. But I think anything that has to do with computers, technologies, fiber optics, and then as well as trade and transportation, any of those industries, commerce, I think that are always going to have a place. They might just have to change their focus.
Will there be more jobs or less jobs?
I want to believe there will be more jobs. Unfortunately, what we call like labor-intensive jobs, again, with the development of technology, sometimes we lose those. When we build a machine that can do the work of 3 or 4 men are now out of a job because one man can manipulate that machine to get a job done. But I think that we're going to want to provide more services in the future. So we'll have a lot more in the service industry as opposed to in maybe like the labor or like a factory type style job.
Do you think the job age will change?
I don't think it's going to change drastically. I still think that we're not going to force children to work. I still think that you're going to have to be 16 to 18 to get those entry-level positions. I do think that the education required to possess a lot of these jobs, that will change. For instance, jobs that a high school diploma used to be good enough for will probably require some type of collegiate degree, whether it be an undergrad or a master's degree. Specialized training degrees will be required for more jobs as well, I think.
What do you think the world will look like?
I think it's going to resemble some of the things we see now. I still think that a lot of the age-old problems that we have over land disputes and religious disputes and cultural differences will always have us immersed in some type of conflict somewhere in the world. But I think by and large, the conflicts that have often been created by different countries in our world, if we can come to a little bit better sense of understanding and maybe tolerating each other's differences, I think that we could see a lot less, military campaigns in foreign countries and things of that nature.
Will people be more or less intelligent?
Well, I can only speak for the United States of America. But as I tell my students all the time, if we could get rid of MTV and all the programming that comes along with that, we have a chance at not getting dumber. But if my students continue to watch the Jersey Shore and other shows of that genre, we will be the dumbest civilization on earth.
How do you believe the fashion will be?
I think fashion's always going to change, and I can't tell you, I can't predict, okay, this is what's going to be in, this is what's going to be out. I think anything that is, for instance, very eccentric at the time, those fashions come and go quickly. But some of the age-old things, I'm pretty sure people will wear jeans 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 100 years from now. But some of the other fashion trends that we see that are really, they come on strong, they also fade fast.
And the last one, do you think the U.S. will be in more debt or it will get us out of debt by then?
We're always going to be in some debt. That's just how we live. But I think the deficit will be reduced in time as the economy improves and we start to increase and improve the job market. I think that our debt will start to lessen, but we're always going to have some debt.
Okay, and that's all.